What's up, Everyday Blades? Man, got a nice knife for you here today. Liong GSD V2. We are running M390 blade steel, burlap micarta, scales over titanium, bolster lock, polished ceramic ball on the clip. They did a very nice job with that clip. I really like that. You get all the benefit, all the beauty of a milled titanium clip with the simplicity of a stamped spring clip. There's just not a lot to it. It looks really nice in my opinion. Nice, large hardware. Even on the over travel stop, it's a large screw. I believe it's a T8. Very nice T8 hardware there. Non-free spinning pivot, simulated integral knife, looks very nice. Lanyard loop discreetly tucked back there. Only minimal hardware, 2 screws here in the pivot, 2 screws, 1 screw here, and 1 screw holding on the clip. Very nice. And then, of course, the screw holding on does have a lock bar stabilizer and over travel stop, which again, in my opinion, a lock bar stabilizer is just not needed unless you're talking about a true integral knife. Because if you over travel your lock bar, which has never happened to me or anyone I've ever known by accident, you can always open it up and just bend it over a little bit and it's right back where it was. So I honestly, when I get my knives, I open them up and I relieve the lock bar tension. Almost every single knife I get, the lock bar tension is too tight. Now, you don't have to do that. You can break it in naturally and that will happen automatically and it will loosen up and it will seat perfect and it might even be a little bit better for the knife. But I don't have that kind of patience. I'm not waiting for a lock bar to break in. I'm going to loosen up my lock bar tension. And now the geometry has to be very accurate on the lock face for that to work. If it has bad lock geometry, they're relying on that pressure to make it lock up. If not, you'll have lock rock. But this is a re-out knife. You ain't gonna have no lock rock. This is a fantastic knife. This is what gives me pause when I hear people saying, "I'll never buy a Chinese knife." I get that on a patriotic level, but man, 98% of everything else we use is only made in China. You can't even buy it. It's not even made in the United States. So the ship has kind of sailed. I would prefer every knife I buy be made in the United States. It's just not going to happen anymore. So if that's your case on it, you're missing out on a lot of great knives is what you're doing. Because we went over there and taught these guys how to make knives, and guess what? They got pretty dang good at it. It's got a nice fuller, substantially thick blade stock, not overly, but it's a substantial knife. This is a usable knife for sure. That'll look nice when you go out at night. Let's take some measurements on it. 3.5 inch blade, 4 1/4 on the handle scales. Let's take the weight. Let's weigh this bad boy. 3.9. Fantastic. I'll take it. Winner, chicken dinner. It's just a great knife. It's not exactly drop shut, and I think it's because, one, I haven't relieved the lock bar pressure because, one, this is not my knife. This belongs to Liong Ma, so I'm not going to go in there adjusting and tuning on his knives. So if you get past that detent, detent ramp, it will drop shut. But this one's not broke in yet. And if I tune this the way I liked it, it would drop shut every time, just like a guillotine. Because I've done that to every other one of my Riot knives and my Liong Ma knives, and they all do that. So this one's brand new. I've carried it a couple of days, used it a few times, in the environment I'm a construction manager, so we use them knives sometimes in a heavy capacity. I don't use other people's knives in a heavy capacity. I lightly use it, open some envelopes and some boxes, and mainly just fidgeting and checking out the geometry and making sure it's doesn't have any hot spots and This one doesn't. It feels really good. If you like the look of this knife, you'll love this knife. I can tell you that. There's nothing to complain about with this knife. Let's look at it. Give me 1 second. Let me grab the... Actually, let's look at it up against the Field Duty. This is the new Field Duty 3.5. It's about the same length. It just doesn't have the girth this one has. And this is the original Field Duty. One of my favorite knives of all time. And look at one more. How about the Koenig Arius? A lot of you by now know what size the Koenig Arius is. So, overall, it gets 2 thumbs up from me. This is a great knife. I mean, this is a pocket knife that'll last you more than a generation. And I don't think anybody would ever be disappointed with it. It's got great jimping on the flipper tab. The flipper tab's not too large. It's not too small. It's right in the pocket. And man, burlap micarta is just beautiful. You can't argue with that. So I say it gets a pass for me. I'm all in. Guys, thanks for watching. God bless you and your families. Say a prayer for our country. Good night.